wife and I were helping a friend of hers, but the friend accused me of only helping her because I was interested in her. I refuse to be involved anymore, but my wife says I'm overreacting. My wife, Emily, has a longtime friend, Leslie, who has recently become a single mother. Leslie does not have a working vehicle at the moment and is working 2 jobs, so Emily took it upon herself to help Leslie out as much as she can. Emily had started asking me to help as well in driving Leslie and her kids around, taking them to school/appointments, taking Leslie to the grocery store, etc., whenever Emily or someone else couldn't. I agreed since it made my wife happy and I understand the kind of situation Leslie is in. Helping has turned into Emily inviting Leslie and her kids over often, or organizing trips that they would like, such as camping or fishing. A few times my wife was unable to attend these get-togethers she organized due to work and insisted they still take place, leaving me to entertain Leslie and her kids on my own. Since I've known of Leslie my entire relationship with my wife, I didn't think too much about this. The times that it has been me left with her, or sent in Emily's stead to shuttle Leslie around, I've made normal small talk with her and her kids. Recently, Leslie's kids were going to be away for a weekend, so Emily wanted to have Leslie over for dinner and some movies. She asked me to text Leslie to ask her over, and when I did, Leslie replied with, "Just as friends, right? I'm not interested in being anyone's girlfriend." I thought that response was out of left field, so I asked her why she'd even say that, and her response was pretty much, "No guy would be asking me and my kids how we're doing or helping me out unless he wanted something in return." I told Leslie it wasn't anything like that, and then showed my wife the conversation and informed her I would be stepping back from helping her with anything involving Leslie and to leave me out of any future plans. I also offered to show her the rest of my phone and anything else. Emily believed me, but she still talked to Leslie about it to see what had given her that impression, and accordingly, she gave Emily the same answer. A few days later, Leslie apologized to Emily and told her that her emotions and mind were just all over because of a down day. That's fine, but I'm still not willing to help her or my wife out anymore as I had been, because I don't want any repeats or accusations hurled at me when I was helping, as my wife asked. Emily thinks I'm overreacting and should just brush it off because it was just a silly miscommunication she had on a bad day. Additional info. The text I sent Leslie about the night was, "Emily wants to know if you'd like to come over for dinner and some movies on Saturday." That's why her response was so out of left field. I sent the text because Emily was busy on her phone and wanted to know so we could make our weekend plans. Edit. Thanks for all the comments and different perspectives. I'll talk to Emily tonight when we get home about the overhelping and what to do going forward. We are not swingers. Leslie knows my wife is completely monogamous, and while I will be bringing up concerns she's helping too much, this level of help between the two of them has been present for as long as I've known my wife. Best comments. Cringe friend. Could have gone a lot worse. Do not help her unless your wife is around. What happens next time this happens? Is Leslie going to lie and say that you were trying to flirt with her and make a move? Stay far away. It's her problem. Don't make it a you and wife problem too. I noticed she didn't apologize to you. She accused you of trying to cheat on your wife. That is no small thing to overlook. Update: 35 days after the first post. Thank you all for your input. There's been some good and not so good outcomes to this issue. My wife and I had a long conversation after I made my original post. I brought up points from both my perspective and possible points from Leslie's perspective that commentators made to explain the situation and why it had me uneasy enough to step back. I showed her the post, and she eventually relented. Emily decided she would speak with Leslie again to see if her having to leave during a couple of outings or missing one had made Leslie uncomfortable, despite Leslie agreeing ahead of time she was fine with Emily leaving/not showing up. We also discussed the matter of overhelping. In that regard, Emily wanted to keep helping her as she had been because that level of help is normal for them, but she would stop asking me to help when she couldn't. Instead, she said she would talk to Leslie about getting the kid's father to help out more now that her ex-fiancé was gone. She wound up agreeing I should have received the apology, but since I'm just hands-off now, I didn't see the point in pursuing it. I'm happy to say I have not been volunteered to help or drive since our talk. She continued to help Leslie as she was able for a couple of weeks until things took a negative turn. There were a couple of times neither my wife or Leslie's other friends were able to give her a ride or help her, and she asked Emily where I was that I couldn't do it. Emily said she told her it was best I didn't to avoid any future misunderstandings. After the fourth time, Leslie asked my wife to have me drive her/pick stuff up for her when no one else could. Emily tells me that Leslie started in about how if what she said wasn't true then I wouldn't be avoiding her, but I'm acting as if I got rejected. According to Emily, Leslie started to draw parallels about how I went out of my way to do things for Emily right before we got together and started helping Leslie. So that was all the proof Emily should need about me having ulterior motives, and after that, she says Leslie devolved into telling Emily she'll wind up being left too. We have minimized contact with Leslie, and Emily told her she needs to do so until and unless Leslie seeks counseling for her breakup and stops having a negative outlook on the relationships around her, and then they can rebuild their friendship. That has been hard on Emily, so whenever I'm not working, I'm doing what I can to help her get through this. Thank you again for the fresh set of eyes. Best comments. Always check who your wife is hanging with, and second, remember, misery loves company. This Leslie girl is dangerous, and you have to be walking on eggshells with her because your wife is not going to take the necessary steps to get her away from your lives. And when she returns, she will do it with a vengeance. Mark my words. To quote Princess Diana, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. Your wife is playing a dangerous game. She's lucky you are a good husband. I hope she opens her eyes one day. Since nothing happened, she is okay with this and your feelings does not seem to matter. And her friend problems are before yours. She fails to understand that this kind of allegations can destroy marriages and can affect you in other environments, job, friends, family.